Welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. Yes, we're here today to predict the scores for game week 5 of this 2024-2025 Premier League season. As I mentioned last week, we're actually recording this before actually game week 4 has taken place, as in game week 5 we're not going to be able to get to a camera, unfortunately, so there may be quite a few community posts during this week. But let's get straight into it and make our predictions for game week 5.
So starting off on the 12:30 game on Saturday, West Ham against Chelsea. Both teams moderate start, let's be fair. West Ham less so. Going to be a banana skin. West Ham had the upper hand on Chelsea last season, so let's go 1-0 West Ham.
Yeah, all under the fair.
Yeah.
12:30. A lot of people watching this one in the pub, I expect, around the UK. Yeah. West Ham, with all their influx of players, still, maybe they're settling down now. But Chelsea as well. It looks like they probably got to have 2 or 3 buses every time they go to an away game or a home game. So tight, but I'm going to give Chelsea the benefit of their doubt. Early season form looks good. Nicholas Jackson getting amongst the goals as well. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Chelsea. Next up, we've got the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Aston Villa against Wolves. Ooh, Midlands derby, you could say. Surely Aston Villa at home are going to be too good for the Wolves, who have had a bit of an indifferent start, haven't they? Probably I should err on the side of caution, but nah, let's go for it. Aston Villa 3, Wolves 0.
Yeah, this has a Villa win written all over it, but with these Midland derbies, it's going to be narrow, so I'm going to go 2-1 to Villa. Moving on, Fulham up against Newcastle. This always just seems a tight affair. Newcastle, we know historically, never do particularly well in London. Fulham, they've had an average start, but I think Newcastle are going to build on. I don't know what's happened in week 4, obviously, but I'm going to go 2-1 to the Geordies.
Yeah, you could say about that issues that Newcastle have in London, but they actually won this fixture last season 1-0. Looking at both squads, I think Newcastle probably just got the edge in quality, particularly the budget that they spend on the players. So I think Newcastle are going to come away with all 3 points in London, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win to the Magpies. Next up, we got Leicester City coming up against Everton. Now, this is a massive game for both of these clubs, both struggling at the wrong end of the table at the time of recording. You know what? This could be Everton's first point if they didn't actually get a victory in game week 4. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 scoreline. I think it's going to be very edgy and very, very tight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tight as well. But for me, this is going to make it 5 losses in a row for Everton. So I'm going to go 1-0 to Leicester. I just think they have that extra little bit of quality there. And Everton just seem disorganised, don't they? Anyway, moving on. Liverpool up against Bournemouth at Anfield. 3-1 this finished last season. Liverpool obviously have had a flying start so far. Bournemouth could be a bit of a banana skin up there, but it's at Anfield, isn't it? So 2-0. Yeah,
tricky tight. Anybody who's playing Bournemouth in the Premier League always finds it a little bit difficult. Yeah. They can turn up and turn it on. However, defensively, Liverpool have been excellent. They look fantastic going forward. Salah starting the season really well, really well again. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 home win to the Reds. Next up, we got Southampton against Ipswich, another sort of relegation battle, if you want to call it that. Big 6-pointer. Both of these teams are going to be looking to get all 3 points. You think that Southampton are really going to be targeting this match. However, I think this could be Ipswich's first 3 points of the season. And I'm going to go for a very, 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 very narrow 2-1 away win to the Tractor Boys.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 2-1 to Ipswich as well. It's going to be narrow, but it does have an Ipswich win written all over it for me. It could even be more, but I'm going to edge on the side of caution for the time being. So yeah, 2-1. Anyway, next up, Spurs up against Brentford. Always seemed a tight game, this as well. Brentford always seem to take Tottenham to quite a close task. But with the way that Spurs have started, very patchy, they're going to get the inconsistencies out. And I'm not keen on Brentford's start, to be honest. I think they're going to start to drop down the table, like I said last week. So, yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs.
Yeah, I actually had Brentford in the bottom 3 in our pre-season predictions. Last season there was goals in this one. I think there'll be goals again this year. And I'm going to go for a repeat scoreline from last season. A 3-2 victory to Spurs. Next up, 5:30 on Sky Live in the UK. We've got Crystal Palace coming up against Manchester United. Crystal Palace, for me, they're finding a little bit of form. It's going to be tight. Crystal Palace seem to do quite well against the bigger teams normally. So, you know what? I'm going to go for an Eagles win. I think they're going to come away with a fantastic 2-1 home victory.
Yeah, I agree there, but I think they can edge it. I think Man United, this is a massive banana skin game with the quality the Palace have, so let's go for 1-0. Anyway, moving on to Sunday, starting off with the 2 o'clock one, Brighton up against Nottingham Forest. Brighton starting off like a house on fire. Forest doing well, but have had that nice little start. They're going to keep it tight with the momentum, but Brighton are winning this one at home 2-1.
Yeah, I think Nottingham Forest, confidence-wise, doing quite well this season. But it is Brighton. Brighton at home on South Coast. It's only going to be one victor in this one. And I don't think they'll concede either. I'm going to go for a 2-0 home victory to the Seagulls. And the final fixture of this game week, absolutely massive. Potential title decider already, really earlier in the season. We've got Man City against Arsenal. Whether those players who were injured for game week 4 are back for this one, I have no way of knowing at the time of recording. But if I was going with my early season predictions before the season started, I'm actually going to go for an Arsenal victory. This one could end up 0-0, but I'm going to edge it to Arsenal. I'm going to go for a 1-0 away victory to the Gunners.
I actually think they're going to cancel each other out, to be honest. Both have got quality across the pitch. I'm a bit worried, as you said, with Arsenal's injury worries, but yeah, cancel each other out 1-1.
Fantastic. So that concludes our predictions for game week 5. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. All the details are in the description as usual, and I'll try and put out a number of community posts between now and when the game week ends. But thanks for joining us once again. We'll see you all next time for game week 6.
You keep struggling, bitch, I'm humbling. Keep mumbling, I'll keep doubling. You keep bluffing, you've got nothing. I'll keep hustling.